Hoppers is getting us back to the things that made Pixar really good, if not great. It's the Untitled Film Project Podcast. We're talking Hoppers, the latest from Pixar. Have they returned to form?
After years of work, this revolutionary technology gives us unprecedented access to the animal world. We put this into this. Yes. This into this. This into this.
So let me get this straight. You created a fake animal.
Yes.
Which makes the other animals think you're an animal.
Yes.
Guys, this is like Avatar.
This is nothing like Avatar. Mabel, be careful.
Then we'll answer the big question.
If you could hop into any animal, species, whatever, what would it be and why? And I can tell you right now, we've not talked about this. This is going to be fun.
All right, let's get our initial takes. Hoppers.
Is this a sequel to Up? That is my initial take for the room.
Oh, gosh.
She was working on Doug's collar.
Elaborate.
I know.
Elaborate, yeah.
I know.
So fun.
That's...
I have been really disappointed in Pixar, like a lot of people. I mean, movies like Elio, and there's some movies that
Elemental you didn't care for.
I didn't care for. Elemental. They were
Lightyear.
just
Not
missing. I mean,
That wasn't original.
for a movie studio that has created some of the greatest movies that have stayed with us as icons of film, they have just been so mid, so vanilla, so bland, and Hoppers is in the right direction.
Oh.
This is the most unhinged I've seen Pixar ever be, and I loved it. Because
He's here for it.
I am absolutely here for it because it felt almost like what we see out of Sony when it comes to animation.
Careful.
No,
Go ahead.
in an unhinged way in terms of like unique storytelling.
Oh, okay.
Like, what is it? Mitchell's vs. Machines? That's
Yep.
Sony, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
On Netflix. Sony on Netflix, right? So this is what Pixar needed. They needed something that's very different and not just what if blank had emotions.
Right.
Fire and water.
Cars, planes, everything else. But what I liked about the unhingedness is because there was reality in some of the unhingedness. It's the animal world that we're exploring here too. And we see plenty of Easter eggs from all the different Pixar films, which is why I need to see it again, because when you slow it down, there's the Pizza Planet truck. There's so many other things. There's the collars from Up. There's so many ways that the theory of do all Pixar films live in the same universe?
The little turtle's name is Crush.
Yeah.
In the classroom.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you think of Bug's Life, of all there's so many different ways you can connect all the different stories in Pixar to this. But what I love so much about it is that I was literally laughing out loud at some moments that the jokes were made for the adults in the room.
Yes.
And when I say unhinged, it's because it's not the norm from Pixar to where it is overall family. And there's adult humor in Pixar movies all the time. We're talking, they took this to an extreme level of, I can't believe they just did that. And that's what I loved about it, because it threw me for the best loop possible of being that unhinged in storytelling, where death is something that is covered in so many Disney films, right? In sad ways. Here, they make fun of it in the best way, again, the best way possible. And I love that.
It's a needle drop moment.
It is. So it's unhinged. I had a wonderful time in it. And I think they found a good way to entertain an entire general audience, because if you weren't laughing in moments of this film,
Oh, man.
I don't know what else they could have done, because they made this extremely entertaining the entire way.
All right, let's get a little more into Hoppers. I can't tell you how many people I heard waiting in line to go in saying, it's about bunnies. Barely paying attention. This movie was, first of all, beautiful. Like, they keep upping the level of, what they're creating with CGI. And the part of it that I loved is the colors they're muted. They're gentle. This is a very easy on the eyes. Like, doesn't poke you in the eyes. It's very nice to see. And I just like every time they do it, it's almost like they add a new texture or, animation style on it to make it unique. And I really loved the way this thing looked.
And that into the storytelling of it, and as we continue to dive deeper, the way that they were able to code switch the animals was perfect with the facial structure, especially the eyes. When you're in hop mode and you're in the animal world and can understand animals, they had expressive eyes, emotional eyes. When it was in the human world, the eyes were black.
They're beady.
They're beady because they cannot be understood. There's no emotional connection there too. And it's those things too that I didn't pick up immediately, because it's subtle enough that it just helps drive the storytelling of it through the animation styling, which is perfect because it's not like they're drawing attention to like an old 3D. It's like, look at the eyes. The eyes are different now. This is how we're telling the story to say it's a different world. They just did it.
You just know.
It became inherent in the movie, and that helps tell the story so much because it's helping your brain understand when they're switching back and forth without putting it in your face. And that's the best way. As Gover always says, it's better when you storytell and you don't have to put it right in front of someone's face and blast it. But when you can do it subtly and people just go, oh, I get it now.
Do we appreciate the way they handled the death of the grandma? Because here's why I say that. Because when she first asked her to sit on the rock and Mabel's all pissy and all that, whatever, and then she kind of talks her out of it and shows her this thing, and that becomes their place. They go back and forth. I was like, here comes the up moment. That's all I could think of was here comes up.
Yeah, I was waiting for something like in a bed, right?
But they didn't.
And I like that.
I loved it. Yeah. But I don't know how, it's personal preference, so I didn't want to bring
Sure. No, I like that a lot too, because we knew it was going to happen, right? Yeah. There had to be that arc for Mabel to have for a reason to be what she is, and it's her grandmother. But we didn't need to see her dying in a bed. We knew she was getting to that moment in her life, but it didn't need to be, again, put right in our face, like, you're going to feel really sad right now. We didn't need that moment.
Yeah, it would have felt cheap, I think, if they did.
Okay.
I just like the fact that, she's older now. Grandma's probably passed on. We don't see her. You kind of just get it.
Something that's big for me, and we've talked about this plenty of times on this show, Gover could probably link to every episode we've covered on this because he has such a good memory of what we've done, is yes, you do have celebrity voices present in this film. But the main character, played by Piper Curda, is not a major celebrity voice.
That's right.
She has been in multiple projects, right? But she's not a household name by any means.
You're not casting Bonnie Hunt.
Right.
You can't pick it out. You're not picturing the celebrity's face when you hear them talk.
So I love that. And then in the press tour, it's her and Bobby Moynihan, who is not necessarily a household name, but he's big enough from his SNL days and plenty of projects. Like, people know Bobby Moynihan.
And he did great. He did We Bare Bears, if you don't know. We Bare Bears is a hilarious cartoon.
So there's plenty of name recognition there too. But what I love the most is they're not marketing with the names.
That's correct.
That is a DreamWorks job.
Yep.
That's their lane.
But Pixar has done it too.
Yeah, they have.
Since the beginning.
Toy
Story came out with Tim Allen and Tom Hanks.
Yep.
And then they got Don Rickles, and they got Ratzenberger, and they got all the Annie Potts. They went through the whole gamut, and they marketed the crap out of that. I will, however, admit, probably that's because they didn't know if it would work.
Oh, sure. Yeah. You take
it's the first time.
They had to make sure.
They've ever done that.
But that's what was big to me, is they had, again, not a no name, but they had a unrecognizable name be the lead.
Yes.
And she killed it, knocked it out of the park. And now through the media tour, we're seeing the personality of Piper Curda come out, especially pairing with Bobby Moynihan. They're going to play off each other very well.
Yeah, sure.
She's obviously going to get way more work now too, but it's helping an actor create other opportunities for themselves. And I love that. And they're not putting it all on these actors to sell the movie. The story is the marketing. The story itself, the movie itself is the marketing, not the names. Because they're going to pull it off already. And that's what I love about it too. Like, it adds another thing for me of thank you for not just casting a big name and hoping that it would sell tickets. No, the unhingedness and hilarity of this movie is what's selling the tickets for it.
Like, you really need Meryl Streep voicing the insect queen? I mean, really? The answer is no.
No.
So I don't know why you would do that and not just cast an actual professional voice actor. It's super fun, I'm sure, to have Meryl Streep walk in the building and go, hey, Meryl, here's your 6 lines that you're going to say. But I don't understand why you would do that, I guess.
Unless she requests to be in it. There's
Of course.
there's actors that hit a certain thing. They go like, yeah, I want something for my grandkids to be able to enjoy.
That's fair.
Yeah. So who knows?
So that's the big thing for me, is that they did get someone in there that wasn't just a big name for the sake of a big name. That voice fits so very well.
Great point.
As they said in Project Hail Mary, Meryl Streep, she can do anything.
Do anything.
I appreciated that I could not predict this movie. There were lots of unpredictable moments. You could predict the ending, right? You could predict what's going to happen to close out the movie. There's plenty of things you predict there. But the way they got to it, I did not know how they were going to get to that moment at all the whole time. From the great white shark being flown in
by birds.
It was funny.
Right, to them hopping into the mayor, making a robot mayor from the new Insect King. Like, all those moments, I could not have predicted that at all, and that's why I liked it.
Yeah. There was a joke about smells like vanilla. Look it up. Where do they get vanilla? What smells like vanilla? It's hilarious. There was so much of this movie that I felt wasn't directed at a 6-year-old, whereas I felt that more when I was watching like Zootopia 2. I know I'm the only one that didn't think it was great. But this movie it was funny. It just plain was funny without going to the cheapest, easiest way to get there.
And it was self-aware. I think that's what helps too, is the self-awareness, because this is nothing like Avatar.
It's exactly what it's like.
Because that's what everyone has been. They knew.
You've got to mention the elephant in the room.
Yeah, they knew when they were making the movie.
That's right.
That the comparisons are going to be made just from the trailer.
So get it out of the way.
So let's just address it right off the bat and accept that Avatar exists in this world as a movie.
Right.
And just move on from there. Because I think if you immediately address it in a comedic way, people are like, okay, well, they're aware. We can move on. We don't have to harp on it because they're avoiding it.
Right.
And Avatar did come out before Up. Just in case we're closing the loop on whether this is a prequel to Up.
All right, let's get scores for Pixar's Hoppers. Let's start with Jeremy Gover.
Pure comedy. It's hilarious, and it's unabashedly hilarious. Your word was
Unhinged.
Unhinged. Thank you. It's so funny. I was laughing from the beginning, whereas just for comparison's sake, although it's an extreme, Up, you would not argue, is hilarious at first. The first, probably 7-8 minutes, however long that it's one of the greatest intros and opening scenes in the history of film. But it has its moments. It's fun, but you wouldn't call it hilariously funny, right? There are moments later that are, but as a whole, you would not really call it. This is a comedy. And I thought it was really awesome, and that they embraced that from the very beginning. That was great. But what I really want to focus my final score on is what a great story about the environment. What a great story about animals and loving animals. What a great story about caring for the earth. These are all things that we've heard out in the ether, right? But really, I think people are missing the actual point for the most part, okay? Because we're hearing all the other things. It's really a great story about being overzealous. We are all passionate about something, okay? Whether I'm passionate about hockey and Bradford is passionate about Special Olympics and Jim is passionate about dogs, thank you, right? Republican, Democrat, believer, atheist, sports versus arts, whatever it is, everyone listening or watching, and everyone here and everyone not listening and watching are passionate about something. This movie shows that you can't just change everything the way you want them changed. There's a process, there's a way to go about doing that. And it doesn't matter what side of the aisle you're on. There's a way to do things to enact actual
bring
change.
them along with you.
Yes.
Not just demand it.
Just because you think something should be done a certain way doesn't mean everybody else does, whether that's good or bad. That's not the point. The point is that if you are passionate about something, there's a way to go about that. And I think that Hoppers, through the lens of an animal and a human becoming an animal and that fun plight and all these things, it shows us that. And I think that is the biggest strength of this movie, other than the comedy. So 8.5 for me. I loved Hoppers. I think it's amazing. And it's on my Mount Rushmore for Q1 films.
Bradford.
Yeah, from my perspective, what I appreciated aside from the unhinged part is just the way that they put in so much humor with some historical references with things that kids aren't going to understand.
Right.
For instance, she seems to have become a Joan of Arc type rebel leader. That is going to get a laugh out of people that are teenager and up, maybe at most. But a 10-year-old's not going to really get that unless they're passionate about history. So that was for us. And I appreciate when people make films and especially write lines that they know is for a certain audience and that's going to appreciate that line. And if it goes over a child's head, it goes over a child's head. And it's not meant to be dirty humor. It's just, this is appreciation. It's historical more than anything. But to, I guess, go on again from what Gover said with, there's a message, obviously, in the film too, just like, Fern Gully, Avatar, those types of things as well too, that it shows that the overzealousness was not accomplishing Mabel's goal.
Yes.
They had to find a different way to take action and to take action properly. But you also had a mayor in that town that was overzealous in his way of what he wanted to do. And he was going to on means of like how he could be, it was destructive in terms of what he was hurting in so many different ways. And they had to find a way to come together to figure that out. Now, it took some extreme measures because this isn't an unhinged movie. So it was very, very, very extreme measures, but they finally came to an understanding. And even at the end, they still saw things differently, but at least came to some understanding as well, too, to understand what was important. What was important is for those animals to have a home. You still build your beltway, but just in a different manner because you can find a different way to do it. You can still accomplish your goals in a different way without hurting others.
Right.
That's the big thing that I take away, too, is you may think differently, but can you accomplish this, what you believe, without hurting other people? Or animals, or things, or the environment in so many different ways. So all that, just from the storytelling perspective to the comedic perspective to how they handled the death of her grandmother and how she's even unhinged and how she has to learn as well too, because her overzealousness almost cost her friendship and almost cost so many other people's their lives and other animals their lives as well too after she became the paw. Like there's so many different labels there of character development and building for her to come of age. Like it's a coming of age for the Mabel character because she learns so much through. That's depth. And that's what we want out of films like this is depth. Pixar is known for having depth in their films. We know when it's a money grab and we know when it has depth. And when they have depth is when they are just unbeatable.
Yeah.
When you see a movie like an Up, when you see a movie like a Coco, you see these films that have so much depth and you see heart put into it. And Hopper's at the core of it, through the unhingedness and the comedy and everything, overall has heart. And I think audiences can pick up on that. And that's why people are like, wait, it's actually good? Yes. Yes, it is. Okay, I'm going to go see it. You don't see comment sections being full of people like, that was a waste of my time. I can't believe they're doing this. I just have not seen that at all.
Right. I scrolled Instagram while the kids had
nobody
a good time.
liked it.
Yeah. I don't know.
No, everybody's been loving it because they went back to their secret sauce.
Yeah. And
that's heart. With that, I also give it an 8.5. It is an incredible film, not just an animated film, but an incredible film. It's obviously going to get nominated for Best Animated Picture next year.
Yep.
So can't wait to see what the rest of the year holds when it comes to animated, but that's what I got.
It has been a long time since Pixar/Disney said we can make a movie with an original story that isn't a sequel. It has been a while. It's been since like a Coco and some of the, stuff that you're like, wow, that was fresh and it wasn't based on something else. And frankly, I think so many of the movies that they've put out over the last 5 years, pandemic on maybe, have been so like grasping at weird esoteric concepts, or the concepts are so elemental that who cares? So I think this is definitely in the right direction. Hoppers is getting us back to the things that made Pixar really good, if not great. So while I'm not willing to go into the 8s, I'm going to say I had a solidly entertaining time. You will be glad that little kid maybe needed to go to the movies, and you could enjoy something too. I'm giving Hoppers a 7.5. Untitled Film Project Podcast. We'd love to answer the big question.
If you could hop into any animal, what would it be and why? Now, we are all animal lovers to a certain degree, to varying degrees here. We all love animals, but I'm saying like to different passions. Okay. So it's going to be very interesting. Let's start with the dog lover, Jim. Jim, what animal would you hop into if you could do the same concept as the movie Hoppers?
There's sometimes I love animals more than you'd be comfortable knowing.
Oh, well, that's...
but I was trying to
not alone in that.
Who's the happiest animal there is? And I have to go with what I know best. Dogs.
Okay.
I'm going into a golden retriever. I want that high where everything is awesome. I love everybody, no matter what's happening. It's the best thing ever. I want golden retriever energy for days.
Isn't life great? We've been inside for 8 hours and it's still great. And now we're going to go outside and it's going to be even better. He's going to throw the ball. He's going to throw the ball.
Exactly.
Good stuff. All right. Bradford.
Dolphin. Multiple reasons. First, I want to see if I can meet Gerald the dolphin to see if someone actually got kidnapped to build a city underwater. If you're on TikTok, you know what I'm talking about. And if not, just look it up. It's a lot of fun. Gover's the boomer. He has no idea.
Nope.
But also...
I'm pretending like I know.
Yeah.
I'm going to look it up.
It's one of those, you know how things go viral on TikTok, right? With stories, you just go down a rabbit hole. Apparently a dolphin named Gerald kidnapped a Florida man because, of course, it was a Florida man.
Of course.
And forced him
kidnapped by dolphin.
And forced him to build an underground city or underwater city.
He forced him to do so.
Forced him. That's why.
He had opposable thumbs.
Why kidnapped
They
him.
could all do it. It's just a matter of somebody has to make them.
But also, dolphins are awesome. One, the tricks they pull, the way that they interact, and sharks are very, very important, right, to our ecosystem. But the way they can kick a shark is really cool. Like I want to score up with a shark as a dolphin and be like, just come here. I want to experience that just to like go and protect someone else. Like, oh, this dumb human is holding their leg off a surfboard and they look like, prey. I'm just going to go protect the human and just see if I can, get in return or become, canned tuna. But that's what I want to do. I want to experience what it's like to be a dolphin because I played Echo as a child and I hated that game because I couldn't get past the first couple levels.
Remember that game?
And I just want to see how realistic Echo was.
We're getting worse than that, folks.
Worst game ever. Dear God.
But it could become better if he likes being a dolphin.
Yeah.
But we all love dolphins so much. So many of us bought that game. And we're disappointed.
And then rage quit through a controller because what stupid ass game was that? Anyways, Gopher.
My answer is a panda bear.
Oh, because you're lazy as hell.
That, and I'm a little bit big, but also, panda videos, by the way, find my Instagram reels pretty fast. I don't really know how.
They know you.
At least 4 to 5 times a week, I'm sending my wife some sort of ridiculous panda video that has found my way. I'm not following any of them.
No, the algorithm knows.
No, I know, but it's just hilarious to me because they're basically giant clowns.
Well, pandas are picky eaters too.
Well, right.
They only eat
Which is perfect for you.
Yeah.
Right, for sure. But I didn't think about that actually.
Chicken fingers,
Cements my
bamboo.
My opinion even more. But like you see them like get scared by humans and that's funny. They're falling out of trees,
rolling over in the snow.
And then, oh my God, it's so funny. So I would just like that life.
He just wants a soundtrack to be.
Yeah, just a Red Skeleton theme. It'd be great.
Little tuba in there.
Yeah. Just, yeah.
Eat, sleep, play.
It's got to be panda, dude.
Eat, sleep, play.
It's got to be panda because they live.
That's the life.
They're big clowns.
So what animal would you like to hop into if you had the opportunity? If you're watching this, hit us up in the comments. If you're listening, hit us up on socials. Let us know what animal you would choose. I mean, there's going to be some interesting answers. I mean, frankly, I didn't challenge Bradford about the dark side of dolphins. Look that up on the rabbit hole of the internet.
And I just realized that one of us probably should have picked an animal that would like give humans intelligence as to how the world works.
Nah.
Because
what would humans do with it? Have you met a human?
Right. But if we're interested and you hop into, I don't know, a chimpanzee a wild chimpanzee.
Sure.
And you're like, oh, look, they do all these other things. I can go back and take that information like a scientific study.
Or I could text it. Lizard.
Thank you for listening to the Untitled Film Project Podcast. To support the show, please rate, review, follow, and subscribe. Original music by Jeremy Schwartz. Special thanks to the Music City Film Critics Association. Editing and post-production by Jeremy K. Gover. Voiceover by Chad Bennett.